It's July 12, 2022. Welcome to News BT on Metro TV. We're live from the Akuabo Ahema studio at North Ridge. We're streaming on Metro TV Ghana, on Facebook, and on Metro TV _GH is on Twitter and Instagram. We'll take a look at headlines of the stories we have for you this afternoon. Workers of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority demonstrate against an agreement between Meridian Port Services and GPHA, which they say is crippling operations at the company. Government is scheduled to meet organized labor over their demands for the 20% cost of living allowance. And we'll bring you details of that as well. Officials from the International Monetary Fund will meet Parliament's Finance Committee as part of their 7-day visit to the country to help Ghana restore macroeconomic stability. And also on the foreign front, huge crowd lined up the streets of Tokyo to pay their last respect to ex-Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who was assassinated last week, sadly. All right, you're welcome back. Now the stories in detail. Another demonstration is underway at the Tema Port as aggrieved workers of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority are agitating against bad working conditions. Take a look.
A statement by union executives of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority notes that workers can no longer pride themselves as Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority staff as compared to some time back because situations are different at the port now. According to them, all the jobs meant for Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority have been given to MPs and other foreigners. The new local union chairman, Emmanuel Ahin Young, and his executives, both from Tema and Takoradi, have vowed to reverse the MPS GPHA concession agreement signed in 2015 and its current negative impact on the workforce since June 2019. The GPHA workers have therefore started the rioting, which they have tagged "The nonsense at the ports must stop now."
I believe said the Gina said member here
Meanwhile, the Public Service Workers Union, that's a PSWU, has served notice of its intention to embark on industrial action on Tuesday, July 19, 2022, to demand a 20% cost of living allowance. Meanwhile, the Deputy General Secretary, Public Services Workers Union, John Sampa, has called on the government to come to the negotiation table in good faith in order to resolve the labor impasse.
The union said this has become necessary due to the worsening economic conditions in the country. It said the decision to strike was taken at an emergency meeting on July 8. Speaking on the Bottom Line show, the Deputy General Secretary, Public Services Workers Union, John Sampa, called for an all-inclusive dialogue on salary structures.
If indeed we have gotten to a point where we think that the nation is really in crisis economically, then I think that we may need very sincere national consensus or stakeholder dialogue. And this is not just a meeting trying to deceive workers and always make it look like it is only workers that take the chunk of the taxes. But the point is that who are the people that create the taxes? It is the same workers. In this country, we have not found better way to expand the tax net, and it is few former sector workers, you and I, that pay these taxes. And it is these same government workers that also collect all these taxes or contribute to it. We also contribute huge percentage of taxes that we collect in this country. Our point is that if things are difficult, maybe the heritage that the colonial master left for us, the gargantuan ex gracias, the huge salaries of chief executives, the 2 or 3 or 4 deputies.
He also disagreed with the notion of scrapping specific ministries within the public sector.
I disagree with that. The point is that in the sector I operate, the 65 institutions that are part of the PSW, many of these places, even they have short employees, they have sent for financial clearance at Ministry of Finance, even to recruit more, and they have not even been given. People go on retirement, people die, people resign, and the replacement, you need clearance, financial clearance from Ministry of Finance before, and sometimes it's not coming. So sometimes when we generalize it and say that the public sector, unless we say that a particular public service job, we want to completely stop it. For example, we no longer want to have Food and Drugs Authority and say that the whole public sector is overbloated. These are statements we make just to succeed in our attempt to pay the people less.
John Sampa further warned the government to avoid the use of intimidatory tactics towards labor.
Government should be quite sensitive to the demands of the workers. They should come with alternatives and solutions, and also they should avoid intimidatory tactics. And I mean, when it comes to this level, because people are not happy, the system is not fair, and there's no equity in the condition of service of public servants in the country. The point is that people are already annoyed. And so your body language and the way you even speak at a meeting can actually annoy people. Also trying to incite the public against public servants, teachers, public services workers union, or the rest of the public service is something that may not even give us the room even to listen at all. But when they come and negotiating in good faith and also come with alternative, when you see that these people have really reason and they are coming with tangible alternative, it is possible that we could reach a consensus. We are getting to a point where the labor unions, when we are united, things will be changed in this country. We cannot go on the way things are going on in this country.
Other groups, including the Union of Professional Nurses and Midwives and the Ghana Medical Association, have also joined calls by some public sector workers for the government to pay them 20% allowance.
Now, with regards to food shortage in our various schools, we've been joined by our Central Regional Correspondent, Akwesiado, and our Northern Regional Correspondent as well, Hassan Dibaba, who will tell us on some of the schools they've visited, and these schools are reportedly affected by the food shortage. Who do I have? Do I have Dibaba now? Dibaba? Hello, Dibaba. Good afternoon. Kindly unmute, unmute your mic, if you may, please.
Yes,
okay,
I'm
I can hear you. Right. Thank you so much. So, good afternoon to you. What can you tell us? Which are the schools you visited, and what's the situation there? Because the government assured us that today it was going to solve the problem.
Well, this morning I visited a number of schools within the Northern Region, especially Tamal Metro and Sanarawo Municipality. And the situation as it was yesterday is still the same thing, because I visited Ambaria Senior High School, where I was told that they haven't received anything yet since yesterday. Currently, I am at Business Senior High School, what the school we call BISCO. And they complained to me yesterday that they were not having anything to eat. And the situation is still the same thing. The students are still feeding themselves on the school campus. And I even spoke to some of them who said they are living on more than 15 Ghana cedis per day, which is a very big challenge to them. So the situation in the Northern Region is still very difficult, like I mentioned yesterday. I also visited Tamale Senior High School, where I was told that they have not also received anything. So basically, it is like none of the schools within the Northern Region have received any food items yet from the government. And what they were going through yesterday or some days back is still the same situation they are going through. In fact, I'm even with some of the students from Business Senior High School who are willing to share their plight with Metro TV.
Right. Go ahead and speak with them. We're listening.
Please, your name. What's your name?
My name is Combat Mary.
Combat Mary. How do you feel living on campus without teachers and without food? How do you feel?
Well, it's hard living alone on the campus. Even if the teachers are not there and they are cooking for us, it will be better because as of now, as a third year, they don't teach us like that. They're only discussing the past questions. So even if teachers don't come, but they cook for us, we can eat and learn on our own. But
So what were you informed about the reasons for which you guys are not getting food on campus? What are the reasons, basically?
well, they didn't give us any reason. What we heard was that teachers are on strike, including those who cook for us.
Okay. Please, what's your name?
Ishmael,
Ishmael.
yes, sir.
How do you feel being on campus without food?
It's very hard because studying without food is something that is very difficult because you can't be studying with an empty stomach. So I just think something has to be done about it.
So where do you get food? Where do you get food to keep
Um,
yourself running on campus?
For now, if you want to get food, you have to move outside the campus to buy something for yourself.
And where do you get money to buy food?
That actually is a tax, a heavy tax for our parents because in a day, if you have to depend on 15 Ghana cedis in a day for food, I think it's a very difficult thing.
So what do you have to tell government or those who can do something about it? What word do you have for them?
What I just have to say is that they should try to do something about this because to write your examination, which is just at the corner without food, studying is going to be hard and passing is actually going to be something difficult.
I learned that they have stopped cooking for you for almost a week today. Is it true?
For that is true.
All right. Thank you so much. So, Annie, as you can hear for yourself, the students are not happy that they don't cook for them on campus here at Business Senior High School. And the same situation is running through in many secondary schools within the northern region.
Dibaba, I thank you so much for that first-hand information from the students who were trying to get to government to find out some more on what government's assurance has been in terms of finding solution to the problem currently hitting the schools. You can tell that it is really studying on an empty stomach. That obviously is almost not possible. But we have been joined also, let's go to Parliament rather. An information gathered from the reliable source indicate that the mid-year budget review would be rescheduled from tomorrow, Wednesday, 13 July to Monday, July 25th, 2022. Now, this decision has become necessary because the Finance Ministry and the Minister himself, Ken Ofori-Atta, are expected to prepare and deliver the message. I engaged with the delegation from the IMF. My colleague Abdallah Mohammed is currently standing by to give us some more information with the members of the House expectation. Abdallah, thank you for joining us. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Annie.
Right. So exactly what's going on? How are members of Parliament, receiving this news or updates that we have received that the minister would have to wait until his engagement with the IMF is over?
Okay, Annie, as you rightly mentioned, the business statement for last week did mention that the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, would tomorrow hopefully be giving the Parliament the mid-year budget statement. Unfortunately, that is not happening because we are told from sources close to the presidency that he would have to conclude discussions with the IMF so that when we have something concrete to feed the House of Legislature, then the Finance Minister would eventually be invited into the House to come and brief Parliament on the mid-year budget statement. It is very obvious that members of the minority side are not happy about the fact that even though it had been advertised that the Finance Minister will be coming tomorrow, that is not happening. That would happen somewhere 23rd of July 2022. I have with me here a member of the Member of Parliament for Ashaiman, Honorable Enos Nogbe, who is also a member of the Finance Committee of Parliament, who is one of the few MPs on the minority side who is gravely disappointed in the finance minister's inability to show up to deliver the statement. Honorable, how disappointed are you?
Well, very much disappointed. But be that is may, we know very well that the finance minister does not have anything to tell Ghanaians. Is the very man who has taken us to IMF. Is the very person who made noise about the government not going to IMF. They will not go today. They will not go as long as the MPP remains in power. But we are now in IMF. What is he coming to tell us? He's not coming to say anything. There's nothing on the table for him to come and discuss as has been advertised on the business statement. And that is why they are pushing it, so that by the time we conclude the IMF whatever engagement, they would have found something to come and tell us. But this is a demagogue. This man should be sacked immediately because he has superintended over a mess economy. The same person will come to the house and start quoting biblical distance from Isaiah, etc. But as we speak now, he is superintendent over 80% to GDP in this country. The same person who has taken us to this level, who has skyrocketed, prices of goods and what have you, fuel prices, etc. He has nothing to offer. And I'm sure that is all the more reason why they cannot come tomorrow for this. But we are pushing them to come because we are determined to rise by 23rd of this month. We have a lot of activities to do in our various constituencies, and that must happen by tomorrow. So we are pushing the finance minister to come. Whatever he has on the table to discuss, he should come and say it. But to our best of knowledge, he has nothing to offer Ghanaians.
One of the reasons the government has decided to fall on the IMF for an assistance is because they allege that your side embarked on a relentless crusade against the e-levy. And that explains why government has fallen short of its target in terms of the monies it projected to realize from the e-levy. It is blaming your side for courting Ghanaians against the e-levy. What do you have to say about that?
You see, everything God does, God has done it for a purpose. You see, we were against the e-levy, but unfortunately, the e-levy was passed. Now, you said you are getting a peanut from the e-levy. For that matter, you have to run to the IMF. If the e-levy had not been passed, what do you think would have happened? Now they are enjoying the e-levy. Still, we are heading towards the IMF. How many months did we delay the e-levy? From November to, I think, somewhere in March or April. That's 4 months. So because of that, you are rushing to the e-levy. The government is clueless. The government, the minister, they are all clueless about the economy of Ghana. And that is why we are saying that the finance minister must be sacked. He must be sacked. If I were the president, by this time I should be sacking the finance minister. If I were the majority, by this time we should be initiating censure, vote of censure against the finance minister. Why is it there? What is it there still doing? Superintendent over corrupt activities in this government.
What major inputs would you want to advance as we even await the arrival of the finance minister? That is, if he has to do the presentation tomorrow. What inputs would you want to hear from him?
Well, I'm not expecting anything better from the finance minister once again because he has said everything that he wanted to say initially. So I'm not sure he's coming to tell us anything meaningful at this point in time. He's coming to quote scriptures from the Isaiah. I know that's what he's coming to do, but nothing that will change the livelihood of Ghanaians at this point in time.
So let's proceed to the podium where the minority leader, Haruna Iddrisu, is just about to address the press. I'm not very sure about what the issue is, but let's proceed to the podium. Iddrisu.
So he's
interrupted a bit, but that is Abdullah Mohammed coming through from Parliament House with reactions from members of Parliament on the finance minister's inability to appear before the House as expected tomorrow. The date is being scheduled from the 13th to the 25th, but as has been said by my colleague and the MP. Okay, let's cross over to the House again, the minority leader is about to address the
No,
press.
once I have bid, I'm fine. Are you ready? Because Speaker will be in shortly, and then distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, Ghana today is credited with one of the most functional democratic process, still with determination to further build credible and strong democratic institutions. Under the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, Ghana has an independent electoral commission referred to as the Electoral Commission of Ghana, chaired today by Jean Mensah. We've invited you to this press briefing to draw attention to a matter of democratic concern and a matter that may threaten the stability of our country, since it borders on the right of a Ghanaian citizen to vote and to exercise that inalienable right to vote. Our understanding as we pick it up is that the Electoral Commission of Ghana is desperately planning to discard the 2020 voter register and replace it with a new voter register, which register is cost the taxpayer and the people of Ghana to build with $80 million thereabout. So in 2020, the Electoral Commission, against all sound and technical advice, replaced the 2016 biometric voter register. You all recall that. This decision of the Commission was without consensus by all political parties, civil society, and critical election stakeholders. In pursuit of that political agenda, the EC undertook a new voter registration exercise, which currently puts the voter population of our country at 17,041,340 voters. Across the regions, you have Brown Ahafo region 316,000, Ashanti 3 million, Central 1.5 million, Eastern region 1.6 million, Greater Accra 3.5 million, Northeast 289,000, Northern region 1,049,000, Oti 358,000, Savannah 298,000, Upper East 659,000, Upper West 469,000, Volta 924,000 for the Volta region, and Western North 468,000, and Western region 1.1 million. I'm sure many of you will be arguing why I've had to share these details. Our understanding is that the Electoral Commission is seeking to make the national ID card the only source of justification to register onto the voter ID card as their basis, the voter register. I repeat it, the Electoral Commission is seeking through that may come before the Electoral Committee and Parliament as an institution to replace the voter register of 2020 and to make the requirement for getting onto the voter register the national ID card as the sole reference document and justification to get onto the national voter register. Our concern primarily is that in the past, since 1993, voter registration exercises that have been undertaken, you normally have the provision of a guarantor of other persons guaranteeing for persons to get onto the voter register insofar as it is established that they are Ghanaian and are of age and of sound mind and to participate in Ghana's electoral process to vote and be voted for. Now, our understanding further, and this is our primary technical concern, is that the national ID card, arguably a public good, is not increasingly available to deserving Ghanaians who deserve to have it. There are many, many Ghanaians who are still struggling to have access to a national ID card legitimately. That public good must be made increasingly available to every qualified Ghanaian. Now, it will interest you, members of the media, that currently the National Identification Authority has registered 16,654,000 persons. Cards printed 16,341,000. Card issued 13,300,000 against a voter register of 17 million. If you use that instrument of a national ID card against a voter population of 17 million, then there is a critical technical departure from the requirement. We may not even have a voter register to rely on for the conduct of the 2024 presidential and parliamentary election, because the number of Ghanaians on the voter register far exceeds the number of Ghanaians on the national ID card data. And yet the national ID card has other persons, including foreigners, on it. The voter register, and again, I emphasize this for your purposes. The Electoral Commission, by law and by duty, ought to have conducted limited voter registration exercise 2021 and 2022. They failed to undertake this national exercise, and therefore eligible Ghanaians who have attained age 18 and above have been denied, so to speak, the opportunity to get registered and to exercise their right to vote as Ghanaian citizens. This activity never took place in 2021. And as I indicated in one of my press conferences, when President Mahama became president, we intend to deploy a new technology that allows you that when you are just 18 years, you walk to any office of the Electoral Commission and get registered. That is what we will do to improve access to it. So we've invited you this morning to draw attention to this concern, that one, the use of the national identification card as the sole reference justification is technically unacceptable, since many Ghanaians do not have their national ID card, and some have not even been given the opportunity to have a national ID card, and that the data on the national ID card is far less the data on our national voter register as compiled by the Electoral Commission of Ghana in 2020.
So that's breaking news coming in from the House, the August House, that's the Minority Leader Harry Najusu addressing the press on information they're picking from the Electoral Commission of making the national ID card the sole card to use as a Ghanaian, or to identify yourself as a Ghanaian, and which will enable you to vote. To bring you some updates of that story later on, but still to come. Let's go back to Parliament, and the Deputy Finance Minister, Binal Sesar, is actually addressing the press. Let's hear what she's saying.
Yeah, we should all understand that in this data finding mission of the IMF, we need that space and time to address that and give them, once we are done, 25th, we'll come to Parliament and do the mid-year budget review. And you should all know that per the PFM law, we have up until 31st of July to do that. So it's still within, the law and the time. Thank you very much.
So that was a quick exclusive that the press was trying to get from the Deputy Finance Minister regarding the appearance or maybe disappointment of the Finance Minister not being able to appear before the House as expected tomorrow. Let's move on to developmental programs and policies. And the Ministry of Roads and Highways has awarded a contract to First Sky Limited, a local construction company, for the rehabilitation of a 23-kilometer Dom-Kitasi road. The project, valued at 195 million cedis, is funded by the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development and the Government of Ghana.
A contract between the employer, which is government, and the First Sky Group that competitively won the contract of the construction of Domi Kitasi Road project, measuring 23 kilometers. I would like to congratulate the First Sky Group company on behalf of the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the government and people of this country for winning this contract on competitive basis. Of course, the better contractor have won, and everybody is happy about it, that this facility is going to be undertaken by a local contractor.
Well, the project will cover a 23 kilometers from the Dom roundabout to Kitasi near Peduase. My colleague Zoe Anita O'Day is engaging some residents on what is considered a legacy project of the embattled MP Adrasafo.
Discomforting as motorists, pedestrians and commuters are very worried of the poor nature of the road. Even if you do not use a car, the nature of the dust has great impact on you. However, government has awarded contracts for the road to be fixed, and I'm here at the community to speak to people on what they feel about the contract since it has finally been awarded for years. Pacho, good morning.
Morning.
Hi, Frost.
Okay, from Eric.
A year saying no, I feel the government say more award the contracts. No, then I will be to me a car.
Oh, the government so about the contract now. Come up, but I can't wait no. I check every year. Bia, bia ba, not so by on yet. Bia ba, not so by on yet. They say unam a can't wait so. Unam wana utai two. No body until two. It's a come was some sabre. Until he say Abba. Let's see also obey. Yeah, Kwana Mayana, yes, you need Baji Pa, Aban and Bon Home, not to me, Kwana May, or Yamaya in Baji Pa.
Almost share Quina Sia, a day now bet to me a catcher constructors now, mobile ye a Jumano.
Okay, contractors in Nibu, almost start here, Jumano. Not say, yet day. Sicano and more. It is kind of more we are. Almost by Quina 1 week, 2 weeks, no boy. It may catch a contractor, be I did one man say, yeah, Panicho is Strano, a Kwan we are check. See, the man manua, on bombarding said, no bear ha, the way I can my that best and I'm counsel. I'm put your brepa serious. See, I'm brandy a boy, a brew of way super.
Yeah, that's. I also have another man here. Let me also talk to him to find out what he thinks about it. Da, good morning.
Morning, madam. Your family Dennis.
I say na fede ya say baba ye amamo. E den na obetumi akafa.
I think say e niji sempa. It sounds like when ya brepa a driver for now, so my workshop in Vision Auto. Yes, so the same to her cars, I was in foot through a bomb crana, and yes, and papa. Nipan so were having foot through how ye. And a quine also a sample for cars. And the cabe papa sat by a boy and why in the yamay.
Contractors now, Mubabe, constructors now, Babe, ye quine, then I'll be to me. I can't actually almost in a bear quine away and tempt him.
Kakra make a phone to say, Yanko Pomoma holding, no new we have no mere quine and so am I. And no here in ye pa. I buy and so say, best say, or the friend saying, or then I holding be sim. No, you man on bayano, or the Academia or contractors in the Behiano, or more on Saka, Sinebea, or on so bit me you on your no my quine yamay. And so here.
Address for the constituency any the chances of winning biom like mobesanya to am no say or sign bar
no de e be gina na mo de mboso e no pen metimi aka fa ho I
also have another gentleman here. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, madam.
What's your name?
Philemon Bedu.
Right now, the road is finally going to be constructed for you. And what can you say? The long wait is over. What can you say?
Okay, what I can say is it's a good news because it's not helping business at all. If you look at this car, it's a bakery car. We deal with pastries and anything about flour. And the car I'm using is an electronics car. So the dusty nature of the road is not helping. Every month you have to buy new injectors. And then our shocks are also worrying. Always you have to buy new shocks. In a month, you can buy about 2 tires because of the bad nature of the road. So if you hear that they are coming to do it, then it's a good news for us because you can see my car is a Benz car. So spare parts is very expensive. And we are always incurring loss, which is not helping business at all.
How long has the road been like this?
Okay, I've been using this road I've been plowing the road for about 2 years now. 2 years now, but it's been this for a very long time. So it's a good news. We are all happy.
This is Adra Safo's constituency. What do you make of her absence now that she's not around?
I don't want to be too political, but what I heard was even during their, I think, primaries or something, they've held some elections recently, and I heard they've overthrown her. So I don't think she's even coming back to contest for this constituency. But I leave that for the politicians. But I don't think she's coming back.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So according to most of the residents here, their feeling is that they are very happy and they would want the road to be fixed. As you can see, the nature of the road is very bad, and for years this is how the nature has been. I have with me a woman who sells by the roadside, and I want her to tell me her plight. Hello, good
afternoon.
So, I say your baba ye kwan then I'll be to me account for.
Ya kwan de hia some me my pa me to aduane wa ha. Wo de aduane be so mfuturo nko a atams kra na eye ma homete say meton because obi beto aduane na wo hwe ne ma ho ne mfuturo aye ho sa wo say enye fine say obeto nti ya kwan de edi nyankopon din sre mo me ye ma yen.
Zoe, Anita, they're coming through with very interesting opinions of the constituents about whether or not Adra Safo has been overthrown. But the news is that she has not yet been removed as a member of parliament until a by-election is held in her constituency. We're waiting for what parliament will say. Now, the Ghana Grid Company has carried out its threats to demolish illegal structures cited under its high-tension lines in Ayawaso West Wogo municipality. Hundreds of the supporters at the Baolishi rushed to salvage their belongings before they were bulldozed by the team. Now, my colleague Esther Japan is present at the location and brings us some more on this updates.
Activities like drilling, excavation, shops, real estate are prohibited, and it also poses a great danger to human lives. So that is the reason why we're here. GridCo, we are aware, has issued an order to demolish all structures around their transmission lines at Baolishi here. And we're here to engage the residents. They won't have it. They are angry at the government for what they have done to them. For some of them,
is going to be a major struggle for them. So I have with me here this man who has been here for around 30 years to tell us how does he feel? What is really the situation on the ground? So, yebo mama niye say yeba be bubu mo Diana.
Do omu kan ba sonta so be kan ba no mumba. Ba sisi an ye pa abanu cho say onu ko sa boaye. O boaye because kamuso ma discuss ya kala ya other side also no musa ya juma.
Okay, first of all no. Ya catch mu da say bia ebe bubu mu dan wa ha because enye safe mama. Yebo mama ne da.
Greek for my born man but we say I never say anya Greek for emusie onu na esa de no.
How do you know say enye grade ko for?
Oh ya come office mo say nyom.
Da be na mo come office.
That's come ho mo say mo ni hwe.
Okay, that means that last month one year mama hint see eba be bubu mo dan no.
But o can dada mo before the last month.
Until mo say hwan mo na eye demolition.
We no MC no. MC no na esa de no.
Okay. Mama manie ebia last week and I say days before.
That we obo ya manie eni mo hwe.
Okay, mommy, also I didn't say for how long now?
Oh, this is 7 years crying.
But we are aware say say transmission lines are here and yes safe a mild health problems.
Yenim pa ba omo be ka che say yenim. Ba be ani wa ye be ko. Enti me go for ye be wa. Ah ye tua sika kra. Last and then we cry this omo be this guy we ho. Crapo.
Okay, enti unni baby abekọ nti you rather risk say bia bibi to okra nya problem.
Well, ya ndas ye na ye pontem. Enti say bibi to ye kra. There me fa na ye beko.
We'll bring you some more updates in subsequent bulletins. Business News is next.
Your business. My name is Winston Taki. And now to a false business story. Government has been asked to cancel the electronic transaction levy. This push has risen as a result of government decision in interaction with International Monetary Fund for an economic bailout.
Government touted the electronic transaction levy as a tax policy that will turn Ghana's economic fortunes around. However, the tax policy has not lived up to expectations. Government then decided to turn to the IMF for support. This has stirred controversy, with some Ghanaians advocating for the abolishment of the e-levy.
To your question, should e-levy be withdrawn? Yes. Yes, because we can make the money from e-levy from other sources, just cutting waste and all kinds of profligacy. We can. And if we withdrew e-levy, we will restart that digital economy, which we have crippled. So there's a lot of wisdom in dialing back. One of the big problems of this government is just pride. It's just pride that we can't understand. And what everybody must understand is that, look, you're running a country. It's not your house. So maybe they should tone down a bit on the pride, okay? And one of the important attributes of the digital economy is how many young people are involved and how many young people it is providing employment to.
Increase your revenue and cut expenditure. And it is doing both simultaneously that will bring you back into the space where you need to be. So, e-levy was just supposed to increase our revenue. It didn't even get us where we're going.
Social media has also been awash with pleas from Ghanaians who believe that in the true spirit of accountability and probity, the e-levy should be cancelled and all deductions refunded immediately.
Founder and CEO of the Institute of Certified Business Analysts and Consultants, Professor Emmanuel Say Isiama, says the role of business analysts is critical in the sustainability of business growth in the country. The
Institute inaugurated its leadership to steer their affairs domestically and internationally into their respective roles. The new leadership is made up of professionals from across the industry. They consist of Richard Jones Asase as the new president, Philip Ni Ajay Asafua, Robert Soniamwa and Isaac Tonyi as first, second, and third vice of professional development. Jacob Apiasapon and Aaron Fosu Frimpong in charge of international affairs. James Chamenyi and Alexander Brefo in charge of financial administration and for event and marketing. Jerry James Mafo and Robert Nee Ankra. In an interview with Metro News, the founder and CEO of Institutes of Certified Business Analyst and Consultant believes the institute has the leverage to provide extended knowledge to enable businesses thrive.
ICBAC gave birth in 2014, and we have come far to champion whatever we want to achieve. Currently, we are affiliated to other professional bodies internationally in UK and US and Ireland, where anybody that qualify and passes through our hands, at the end of the day, we automatically can practice in other professional bodies in other countries as well. That this is what you are learning, this is the theory, this is the philosophy, and this is its application, bridging that particular gap. So the theory is good, all right, but if you don't bridge the gap between the theory and practice, the person will learn, even practicalizing it will be a challenge, and the business will collapse because the person will not be able to sustain competition. Competition is not based on theory. The competition is not based on only the book knowledge.
The president of the institute, Richard Jones Asase, says he is determined to facilitate for the passage of a consultancy bill through an act of parliament for the benefit of all members.
That's all for business here on Newsbeat. My name is Winston Taki. We're back with sports after this break.
A 54 past midday in the Ghanaian capital, Accra. My name is Fayo John Quarty, and it's time for sports. Hasu Folk Samuel Hunkum, who completed the season as FA Cup champion, says the nation football governing body must improve on the standard of playing field here in Ghana.
So far, so good. The league itself is good. And but what we have to do at the moment is that is my little opinion. We have to get few pitches as well to bring the talent, to avoid injuries, also to get more sponsorship on board, so that some of the players will not run away early. You know, because the wages also are very important, because players have family, they have to feed family, and this is the kind of job that we do, and everybody work to be paid. So I think this is some of the few things that already they are doing well. The GFA is doing very well, they are trying, you know, but I think that if we get few pitches to add it up, I think our league will be great.
That's your sports. My name is Fayo John Quarty. Up next, Showbiz. Time for entertainment news. My name is Desmodo Krekudan. So now Ghanaian band Fra are set to perform at the 2022 edition of the World Music Expo to be held in Portugal later this year. The band has been speaking to Metro News. Fra Band, an eccentric six-man band which has consistently mesmerized Ghanaians and music lovers with great Afrocentric songs, have been rewarded with a performance slot at one of the biggest music festivals in the world, the World Music Expo. Selim Gogo, a band member, expressed the group's excitement to be named as part of this year's edition.
This is one opportunity we've been looking forward to for some time now. We've actually applied a couple of times before, but we were not selected. And this year we decided to give another shot. And I think by God's grace, I would say we were picked. So we've been anticipating this for a while, and now it's here for us, and we are going to put in our all to make sure that we make the best out of this opportunity for the band.
He further stated that this goes to show that their works are being appreciated and a sign of elevation in their musical journey.
For this represents an opportunity and a chance for us to move to the next step when it comes to our music career. You know, a musician's dream actually is to travel and tour the world. And it's also been a dream of ours we've also wanted to be take the stage front and center as a band and travel the world and perform Ghanaian music to the world. And WOMEX represents a very huge opportunity for us to do so, because you have over 2,000 music professionals who will be in attendance, and everyone will be watching. And this is a chance to get spotted by the big names in the industry and secure some very, very, very good deals for the band.